And it says I'm live, but I will not believe it until I see something in the chat. I have had one time with this internet tonight. So out where I have my main computer, apparently the Ethernet line, somehow it's not getting a connection between the router in here and the router out there. And so I'm guessing it's going to be probably something cut the cable or something just happened to the cable. So I'm going to have to find out what happened with that and probably replace it. But I just finally got the laptop set up. Looks like it says I'm streaming. The internet's working in here. I'm getting a really good connection in here. I'll just see here in a moment. I sent a link to Tinkerz, otherwise known as Keith, and we'll see if he comes on. If there's anybody in the chat, if you can please let me know if I'm actually live. In the meantime, I'm going to try going over here. Let's see the playback page. Okay. It's enough of my ugly face. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything in the chat, so let me reload the chat. It might have died. Nope. Nothing in the chat. So is this stream private? Is that what's going on here? Okay, it looks like something went wrong. Okay, refresh that. Hey, Keith.
There we go.
There you are.
Are you there?
Looks like we're both having problems tonight.
Yeah, that's an understatement. And let me see if I can get this picture a little better.
How you doing?
See so much of my ceiling.
I like your shirt. Check out my abs.
Yes. And I don't even think this is Amy Double D's one. It's just of it. I'm just trying to see why I'm getting such a lag.
Yeah, it looks like you're kind of freezing up a little bit, which is all right because I'm still trying to figure out how come it looks like the chat died.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the video anywhere.
Oh, really? So I'm wondering
Yeah,
if it's set as private.
I'm like,
That's probably, I think it's set as private or something, which I don't know why because it says public. Okay, let's see if that works. I'm not used to working this laptop.
Calvin's probably hexing us.
Is he?
Oh,
there he
my
is.
guess.
Okay, so Calvin's in the chat now.
All right, so let's see if I can get it open. Some nasty things about him now that he's here.
Yeah, let's say all kinds of nasty things about him. How he's left me out to dry, and he doesn't love me no more.
No love whatsoever.
None. No brotherly love whatsoever. He's just a hater.
No. A massive one person watching us.
I know. Yeah, this is gonna be a great one.
This would be awesome. So look, oh, there we go. Just Kelvin and Mad Monkey, possibly.
Looks like that's probably going to be about it. That's two more people than what usually comes in here.
You guys,
yeah, he's sabotaging, all right.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
So somebody said that Calvin broke my internet. Yes, I think he did.
Yes, he did. Of course he did.
I think he probably snuck down here with a razor blade and went. So how was work today?
Of course. Oh, work today was interesting. Of course, I posted Repcord's little joke that he sent into the support. That was kind of funny to find that this morning. So
I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah. I had to make sure though that everybody realized it was a joke and not all of a sudden condone eating of filament.
Oh God, this is going to be the new Tide Pod challenge, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
How many kilos of protopasta can you eat?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So what about you at work? What's going on there?
Same old stuff, trying to keep things going.
But you guys didn't close down shutdowns.
No, we skated past that, which I was kind of surprised at. I honestly, the condition the company was in and everything, I kind of figured ours would probably be the next one to go. But we just kind of kept our numbers just barely treading water, and we made it through all the cuts. So hopefully we can just start growing once everything starts coming back in again, and we can keep things going again.
You're in the automotive portion area, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've never used automotive there at all.
Yeah, I mean
it's not what I think of when I think of automotive.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly it's tires, it's oil, it's mainly your maintenance type stuff.
Right. But I don't know. I guess I think of Jiffy Tire Place That's it. How did you end up there, anyways?
Well, actually, I've actually worked for the main store. It's the what's called the full line side. I actually worked for them for nearly 17 years. And what started me with that is
Okay.
it's a funny story because I did sandblasting equipment painting since the 92. That's when I started doing the business full time. And what happened is my wife come up to me one day and she says, "Hey, Michelle is looking for somebody to work in the water shop." And wanted to know if I'd be interested in applying for it. And I'd always told everybody I'd never work for that company. I just never would work for that company. Just had no desire to. And all of a sudden they come up, it was a deal of either I went to go there to try to go to work for that department, or they were going to hire some of there's this one guy that was a gang member. They were going to hire some of his friends. And they already had enough of them guys working up there at that time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Michelle had asked if I'd be interested in the job. And so Beth asked me if I'd apply. I went ahead and I applied, and I was hired on the side. I mean, the interview literally was, I sat down, talked with Michelle for 5 minutes, and she goes, "By the way, you do realize you're hired, right?" It was like, all I had to do was apply, and I was hired.
I've been to those kind of jobs too.
Those are the best type of job interviews.
You made it on time. You have a pulse. You're hired.
Pretty much. It was like, okay, breathe onto this mirror. Okay, I see steam, so you're hired. I used to tease the manager. I used to say, you know what? I'm going to get one of those infrared thermometers. You can keep in your desk drawer, and all you have to do is point it at their forehead. And if it reads 98.6, you got yourself somebody to hire.
And 17 years later, you're still working for them, huh?
Still there, except now I just kind of switched across now. So what's funny is the person who's been my manager for what? He's been manager up there for like 8 years now. And I always worked underneath him, and now we're equals. It's because I'm one company over because I'm the auto center, but yet I'm a store manager of my own, where he's the store manager of the full line.
Okay.
My days, I'm looking at usually like $2,000 days typically, and the stores are looking at like $30,000 and $40,000 days. So it's like no comparison whatsoever. But they still classify you as store managers.
Right. Nice.
as one of the higher ups one time said, "Oh, so you have your own P&L now?" Yeah. That's the whole thing, is that profit and loss. They want to see what you do with it.
So what kind of, can you reveal any kind of like metrics you have to run? Like, are there like slow days where you have to let people go home or anything like that?
We haven't quite got to that point yet, but it's kind of at that point where now we've got to really start watching the hours and control things that way. Which we were very fortunate to make it all the way through, but this is like the really slow time of the year. It's kind of that little bit in between of Christmas, because here in Salinas, people buy their tires and everything so that they can go to Mexico and go on their trips during the wintertime. And then there's this little lull between February and April where, it's like kind of no man's land. And then when everybody starts getting their money from the income tax, that's usually when things start picking back up again.
So just before summer, everybody's getting their income tax refunds.
Yeah, except this year, people are not seeing the money they thought they were going to be seeing.
No, they aren't.
But they were very proud about those really, those little bit nicer checks that they were getting. Let's get a little bit more money in their checks.
Right.
They didn't consider the fact that meant that they weren't taking as much out. So, like, one of the guys who works for me comes up and says, I had to pay $600 this year. I've never had to pay money before, but this year I had to pay.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
man, that hurts because I mean, 600 doesn't sound like a lot, except when you've never planned on ever having to pay 600 for taxes.
Right. No, 600 is a lot when it has to come all at once, because it's not like they go, oh yeah, you can pay us over time, no matter. It's like, nope, give it to us all now.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Well, how's the economy and everything up where you're at?
I don't know. I feel out of touch with it. I really do.
Well, the good thing is you got a job and they're giving you your hours, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's all. I mean, let's see. I typically go into the office twice a week. I telecommute the rest of the time, so I feel kind of isolated because of the fact of where we're at. So I don't know. I don't know how things are. Things are good for me, so that's all that really matters, I guess.
Hey, that's all that matters, as long as it's good for you.
No, but it's all 3D printing, so that's all. We're good there.
So, how long have you been with Protopasta now?
So I started in February of last year, so that puts it at like 14 months. Well, 13 months.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, that was interesting. Just to start there, I was one of those things I'd kind of been hoping for a while, and then it finally happened. We had been discussing it as a potential for, I don't know, several months, and it just kind of finally fell into place. But it was something that, we knew might happen, but can't count on it until it does. So
well, that's right. And that's really good that you're able to work in an industry that you really enjoy.
Yeah, no, that was a tough call, because the bank stuff I was doing was a little bit more lucrative.
Oh, I could imagine.
So yeah, this is definitely more a passion position than anything else.
Yeah. Do you have days where you regret it?
No, not at all.
That's good.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you saw that recently, where they were joking about people at Protopasta wearing polo t-shirts and stuff like that. And we're like, no, t-shirt and jeans. There's nothing. Whereas the bank, it was all dressed up, and yeah, no. Yeah.
Mad Monkey wants to know, do you get a spool allowance or just straight deduct from paycheck?
No, necessarily an allowance. So all that imperfect pasta that we sell, that's what I can kind of pick through that beforehand. But other than that, no, I do actually pay for my pasta if I buy it. But I go through the imperfect pasta, is where I primarily get my stuff from.
So. Now, the imperfect pasta, is that mainly because of the color of it, or is it because of the size differential?
No size difference. It's if it doesn't meet size, it's culled. It's all color difference. Then that's it. I mean, I think there's several other things listed on the website, but it's all about the color. The color doesn't match. The color's inconsistent. Whatever. It has nothing to do with diameter or being out of round or anything like that. It's still going to extrude nicely. Otherwise, we wouldn't be selling it. But right. It doesn't meet our standards for color match, C in color, or something like that. Or occasionally, like, we still get those transition rolls where we're swapping from one filament to another, and then you might get a mixture of it's matte fiber black going to candy apple red or something silly like that.
That's cool.
So I have some really interesting
filament. That's kind of my favorite, is where it just kind of changes the colors as it goes.
Yeah, and the only problem with the transition stuff though is you have to print something really big to actually see it. Yeah. I mean, because there's one transition in a 500 gram roll, so you pretty much gotta like make your print be almost 500 grams to really see the transition. So yeah, that's one drawback to it. I mean, I like it, but you gotta you get basically one shot, because if it fails, then you've lost part of the roll or whatever. But you get one shot at making something really cool.
Well, do you find on your PLA that you manufacture, do you find, like, especially when it comes to the color differential of going from one to the other, is there is it all pretty much the same temperature as far as when you print, or do you find yourself having to up the temperature? Like maybe it starts out with a filament that'd be a cooler one that only needs like
No,
195 compared to like 210.
no, they're pretty consistent, because like, okay, like I just gave the example of going from matte fiber to candy apple red. Well, that transition never wouldn't really happen, because you're going from a matte fiber, which needs to be kind of purged and cleared, and to a glitter, which also needs to be purged and cleared. So you'd more likely see like a matte to a non-matte transition, and because of that, you'd also in color or temperature, very consistent temperature as well. You're not going to see anything drastic, because they can't just change it real drastic like we can't change drastic temperatures on our printers. Same thing on the extruder. It's not instantaneous temperature change. So it's going to be pretty consistent. It's going to be something similar to something similar.
That's the one thing I always wondered, and it's good to know that.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't have to, like, if you've got a good extrusion profile for whatever the starter of that roll is, it should end up fine at the end.
That's awesome. So is it whenever you manufacture the filament, is it pretty much like the same as extruding like for a 3D print, except it just comes out the 1.75 and then you spool it up? Or
Yep. It's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much just larger scale 3D printing. Only we're printing, onto a bed to actually spool it up, as opposed to pointing the extruder downward to print something, or and smushing it. So, but yeah, it's pretty much the same stuff in terms of just a larger scale. Everything's bigger.
That is awesome.
Hey, we actually have one more person now.
Sweet. Oh, I think we went up to 4 now. I see TK just came in. Oh, man.
Yep. Bags of pellets in the schools of joy.
So, how long have you been up in the Seattle area?
I'm actually in Portland, which is a little bit farther south. Been there since
I kept thinking you're up by Seattle.
Nope. So no, I'm down by Portland, which is right by Vancouver, which is where Protopasta is. So
yeah,
it's actually a little bit of a drive for me to get to work. It's about 50 miles for me to drive in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a little farther out because of the hosting and being at the park. We're a little bit more rural, which again is kind of why I feel like out of touch with what's going on in the city. Because if I was still doing the bank gig, I could tell you, because I used to go downtown all the time. Whereas now it's like, I can't remember the last time I've been downtown.
That's cool. So you get to stay out in the park, huh?
Yeah, no, that's we're loving the hosting thing, because we get to do or live where people would spend lots of money, and we're not. I mean, we're essentially trading hours for maintaining the park. So it's essentially it's a 20-hour commitment per week that we do whatever task. There's different hosts do different tasks. Like the one we're doing trail maintenance. So for about 3 to 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, I'm supposed to drive out on the Gator, which is a little John Deere type tractor looking thing, kind of like a 6-wheel type thing, that drive up and down the trail and make sure that there's no trees falling down or anything blocking the trail or anything like that. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's and we get a spot, and in the case where we're at right now, we're sitting in a nice, beautiful, large open lot, green everywhere, and a creek running through it. I mean, it's just a beautiful spot that we'd have to pay tons of money for. I mean, people would be spending lots of money for a spot like where we're at, and we're not, which is awesome.
That is.
I mean, we went out to, I don't know if you've ever been up to Oregon or on the coast up here at all, but we were on a really nice spot, sitting right on the water, like beautiful view right out the back window of our RV that people would have paid, thousands of dollars for a, rental for that spot. And we got it for, 3 months while we were hosting there, and it was just beautiful. Yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, the furthest north I've ever went was to, I believe it was called Gold Coast.
Okay, the name is real familiar. I just can't remember the place where it's at the moment, though.
Yeah, it's maybe 20, 30 miles, I believe, up from the California border, if I remember right.
Okay, so down by Brookings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We actually haven't gone that far south as far as hosting. We've been down that way before, but we haven't hosted that far south. We typically stay close to Portland, close being within 100 miles or so, just because work's always been near Portland. But
yeah,
hopefully someday I'll be able to telecommute 100%, and then I can actually maybe spend a couple of weeks someplace else and then pitch, pack everything up, move a few hundred miles and spend someplace else for a couple of weeks and just kind of hop around. But for now, we're staying pretty put.
Yeah, that's good though. That's a good gig to get into if you can get into it. Yeah, every time we go to Ridgeway, Colorado, they always have where there's a couple that host the camp that's there, and they pretty much they run around like I said on the gator, and they put the tags out there every day for the different lots, wherever people are going to be staying, and they just mainly just kind of not really patrol it, but they just keep an eye on things and make sure everything runs properly and make sure nobody's getting too rowdy.
Yeah. No, we've done that before. And it's funny because people are always like, well, what does a campground host like that position do? And I said, we're just dad. I mean, essentially that's what we are. We're dad. If something goes wrong, you come find us. We get a hold of the ranger if need be, but we're the person that you come like, hey, we're having an issue. So yeah, we're like the parents. That's kind of how it's the best to describe it. We're the campground parents.
That's exactly right.
So what we got going on in the chat here?
Let's see here. So BV3D came in. How you doing? 3D printing. What's up? Man. There's quite a few people up in here.
Oh my gosh, there's 8 people in there. What's up with that?
I know. Well, this is almost a record.
Kevin's gonna be sad.
Of course, we aren't streaming on the night we were supposed to be streaming. Just everything just fell apart this week, didn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's like, nope, that wasn't the night. And then you texted me at 7, and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Teresa, you don't have to do that. You're not on Calvin's chat anymore. You can go ahead and let it rip here.
Oh my gosh, Teresa's here. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, it is.
I don't know how. I honestly, I feel honored because usually this time of night she's not going to watch anybody like me. Usually it's going to be somebody with a soldering iron saying, Rosman, or was it store.rosmangroup.com? The bigger the glob, the better the job. Let me check my.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't even type tonight. Look at that. I can't even say hi correctly. That's terrible. Oh, we got 10 people in here. Oh my gosh, we're gonna break a record here too.
I think so. Sorry, Calvin.
Practical printing is fanboying. All right, yeah, there we go.
How you doing, Chris?
Oh, yes. I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody what Chris has asked me to do at Murph with him. I don't know if I'm
Oh,
supposed to reveal that. Yeah, he got a hold of me, and asked me to do something with him there at Murph. I don't know if we're allowed to tell yet.
oh, now you kind of put in a position now where if you don't tell, it's going to sound really kinky.
I know, but I'm good at the teasing, you know.
We know we've watched that what's that program they have on the Discovery Channel with the what do they call them back there? Oh goodness, the something mafia. Remember that one? Amish Mafia.
Aw, Chris says it's not happening now. Uh-oh.
What's that?
Well, apparently our super secret thing isn't going to happen now.
Oh,
See, I jinxed it by talking about it, so I shouldn't have said anything. That's okay. That's okay. Every time I've tried to actually see that printer anywhere, it doesn't happen.
oh really?
So, yeah. It's just like trying to get on a stream with Jimmy or something.
Oh, you know what? I'm curious. I'm curious whenever we end the stream tonight, if my internet's going to come back on. I'm right now. I'm trying to think of how in the world I'm going to be able to watch my Roku tonight.
So how are you streaming right now? Just straight off your phone or something?
No, I'm. What is the way it's set up? The mobile home up in the front is my mom's, and that's
Okay.
where I had everything all come through here, and then I just had a line running out to the back.
Okay.
And it's been working perfect all this time, and then all of a sudden tonight just went. I came in tonight and I looked at the line, the line that goes out from the router in here and that goes out, and the light's dead, which means it's not got connection to the router out there.
Right. So essentially your sync light's out.
Yeah, so I'm guessing I'll try unplugging it, plug it back in, see if that fixes out there. But I'm guessing it's going to be a dead line.
That's no fun.
No. Time to order another 200 foot of Cat 6.
My printer's making noises.
Uh-oh. What type of printer is that?
That's the Hydro Research Nautilus that I'm beta testing.
Awesome.
It's a wonderful printer. It's been extremely reliable. Put out some really nice parts on some materials I've never played with before in my life. I can't give a lot of details on some of that, but I can tell you that all of the PLA prints have been phenomenal. I had one layer shift at one time, but I think we tracked down the cause for that. And the prints have been, it's been extremely reliable. I mean, much more reliable than some production printers I've played with. I print more on that than I do on some of the production printers I have because they're just like, it's down again. For a beta printer, it doesn't act like a beta. It's like, it's just happy to keep going. It's just like, yep, I'm just going to keep going. And they keep making refinements to it, based on the feedback. I mean, the fun thing with theirs is they were a print farm, and what they wanted was a really reliable printer for a print farm. So they made a printer that was designed to handle multiple different types of materials really well. And I think they nailed it. I think they did a really good job. I don't know that the printer is going to be one for the hobbyist per se, but if you're looking to run a print farm and run more than just PLA, it's, yeah. I've joked
awesome.
many times. Yeah. I've joked many times I'm not giving it back to them.
I wouldn't. I'd say, I think it got lost in the mail.
I just pack up everything and just wheel out of here and won't tell them I relocated again.
just send a box back, but make sure that it's not taped really good. It must have fell out of the box.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very nice printer. I've enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Oh. It looks like Calvin's leaving us again.
What?
I mean, tonight. Take care, Calvin.
All right, Calvin. We'll see you later. Oh gosh, I almost typed my own name. I'm not really good at the streaming stuff. Yeah.
Teresa says, send a box of rocks.
Send a box of rocks. I like it. Yes. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put Teresa's return address on it.
I was just looking up higher. I see Eddie come in there. How you doing, Eddie? He says, "What's this?" This isn't Calvin.
No, it's not. So speaking of printers, what are you running right now? I've seen some looks like some A10 stuff lately.
Yeah, I've been running the A10. I've got the A10, the A10M, and the A20M, and so far all of those are working pretty good. The only issue they went to a geared extruder, and when they did that, I think they forgot to set the E steps. So once you get the E steps set, they seem like they run just fine.
And that's the one that Calvin did the video about on the E steps then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Mad Monkey saying the Artillery 3D, that's the one I've been running here lately too. And that thing's been a really good printer. I just had these layer lines I couldn't explain. And then today I got an email. And they've got a print I need to go ahead and print that's going to, I believe it's pretty much a anti-wobble bracket for the Z. I think that's pretty much what they're doing is to get away from that Z wobble, which I'm really not sure how the Z wobble works when you've got really thick rails with the way that tracks. It's hard to believe it would have any kind of wobble to it that way.
Yeah. No, it's funny how the Z wobble can get in there. I mean, but was it wobbling even at the low heights, or is it only when it got towards the top?
All the way up. You can just see the lines all the way. And what's funny is that it depends on which print you do. Like I printed this tire as a tire candy dish for a coworker of mine. No lines whatsoever. It looks great. But yet I go and I print something else and there's lines in it. And I print something else and there's no lines in it. So I don't understand if it has to do with layer height or what, but something it's just kind of hit and miss with it.
Interesting. Interesting. So how long have you had the Artillery?
I've had that one now for, I think it's been nearly 2 months now.
Wow. Okay.
I know I've printed a lot of stuff with it, and it so far does pretty good.
All just PLA though.
Yeah, all PLA. I could try doing some ABS on it, but I'm almost afraid to, mainly because it's not an enclosed chamber or anything.
Right.
Yeah, the Dragon came out really good. And there's other prints that I don't see those lines, but it's just on some prints you see them, and other prints you don't.
Oh my gosh. So that's the printer I want to play with, the Railcore right there. That's the one.
Is it?
It's been teased like 3 or 4 times that I've been able to oh yeah, I'm gonna go see it, or somebody's gonna bring it down or something like that, and then that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So I mean, there's gonna be more than one of them at Murph, so I'm gonna see it at Murph, I'm sure. But that's the printer I want to see. And then I want to see somebody take the tool changer and make it 300 by 300 instead of this 300 by 200.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So someday I'll have my tool changer running.
That's cool.
So we'll see. Need more time in the day.
I know that.
Well, here I can show Mad Monkey a partially assembled tool changer. Let's see if we can get it there. Right there. There's partially assembled tool changer. Hardware assembled. No electronics on it yet. They're still in the box.
That's awesome. How many different attachments are you going to have on it?
I only purchased one to go with it. And because I'm going to, okay, so here's the goal. This is the story. This is what I'm going to try and do for Earth. Okay, this is the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but because in terms of supporting a printer, what we're really only concerned with is the extruder, because the mechanics of the bed movement, first layer adhesion, that really doesn't matter that much in terms of print. What we're worried about is flow and extrusion. So what matters for printer to printer for us is what extruder and what hot end is on it. So what I'm going to kind of try and do is make my tool changer have like an Ultimaker hot end on it, and a Lulzbot hot end on it, and a standard E3D, and then a standard or a Mark III E3D, which is different than a standard E3D, so that I can kind of go, okay, this is printing this way with this one. And essentially when it changes tools, I can have a little sign in front of it that says, I'm an Ultimaker. And then when it switches to the Lulzbot hot end, I'm a Lulzbot. And basically then talk about the different flow settings and temperature settings for each of the different hot ends. So basically I want to turn it into an engineering rig that I can pretend is something else.
That's cool.
What I want to do. That's what I want to do. We'll see.
That would be cool.
We'll see if it happens. I mean, but that's kind of what I want to play with, because all of the troubleshooting we do has to do with people trying to push plastic through different hot ends, whether it be something like that's on the A10, which has got a PTFE tube in it, versus something like an E3D, which is all metal, versus a Raise, which is a different all metal hot end. And so yeah, it's all about, for most of our troubleshooting, it's all about the hot end and the extruder that's on it.
Wow.
So what are we missing in chat here?
I think everybody's drooling over your idea.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big idea. We'll see. It's a big idea. Demo bench test unit. Yes, exactly. Essentially, that's what it would be. It's a demo bench test unit. So we don't have to have every single printer. We just have to have every single hot end.
It'd be a whole lot cheaper, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, which is why. Okay, so the tool changer. The reason I've been such a big fan of the tool changer is not because of the automated tool switching, but just the fact that you can have a hot end assembly and swap them out. Because as somebody who does support for the different hot ends, you know that there's certain hot ends that work well for certain materials and certain hot ends that work better for other materials. So the mechanics of your machine, whether it be a Core XY or be a Prusa i3 style or whatever, those can all stay the same. If you swap out the hot ends, the machine's going to act differently for the different type of materials. So why not make it so that those are kind of a universal mount? And that's all I'm really truly interested in, is the universal mounting and the being able to swap out tools. Like the Nautilus has a tool cartridge, so I can actually, it's a hot end assembly with a nozzle attached to it. The extruder is still up inside, but there's a tool cartridge, and so I can swap from a 0.25 to a 0.4 to a 0.8 all really easily. And it makes really nice prints with the different hot ends real nicely, which that's what I'm after. I mean, the tool changer will be essentially a multi-material unit because it's got 4 different extruders on it. So it can do that. But at the same time, I want to go and make that smart test bed that somebody mentioned. Mad Monkey called it a smart test bed. So
yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, the IDEX tool changer that Practical Printing is mentioning, that would be interesting to see. I don't know how you would do that. You'd have to restrict each head to one side of the tool changer. So basically, but then again, I'm not sure what you would gain with the IDEX on it. Because an IDEX just, well, okay, yeah, you would gain the mirror. You'd gain the mirror and the clone type stuff that you can do with an IDEX. Yeah. I think that's pretty marginal gain. I don't know. It'd be interesting. This is too technical for you, isn't it? It's boring.
No, I'm following you. Talking about it's more than just the hot end. What about the linear motion? That's the thing that you're talking about, is you're not really looking at the motion, you're looking at how material extrudes through the different extruders.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's for us, it's all about the flow. I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's where we spend most of our time. And think about most people's issues: jamming on your flexibles and retraction on the flexibles and not retracting, all that stuff. So much of the troubleshooting we do is really just in the hot end and not in the mechanics of the machine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Just see how your product flows through the different extruders. And as far as the motion goes, I mean, it is important, but yeah, you can tell. I mean, you can tell how material's flowing out, whether it's going to give you a good print or not.
Yeah. So as far as the Prusa and Protopasta material, yeah, that's been a bane for us. Those changes they made to the E3D hot end really affect our material drastically. We're still trying to get that conversation to be really good in terms of how to get really good flow with the Prusa and our materials. But it doesn't help that they've got cooling issues in the hot end. But it's not something you can necessarily blame totally on the cooling. But but if you haven't checked the blog for Protopasta's done a lot of blogs on the Mark III and our materials. So if you're still having troubles, check the blog for that, write-ups on how to tune for that. And if you're still having problems, don't hesitate to reach out to support. We will get back to you.
And that would be you, right?
Yeah, that would be me. I'm support. I am support. I get up in the morning and I grab my cup of coffee. Support. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought Eddie used quite a bit of that high five blue or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So high five blue is a little different beast.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. High five is a little bit different. Yeah, just because of it was one of the earlier ones, and Joel was involved in that, so it's a little different than some of the other ones. Second favorite color, huh? What's the first favorite? Yeah, see,
favorite is always
right
blue.
there. Yeah.
What's that?
Carbon fiber. There we go. I love the carbon fiber. Yeah.
Eddie loves that purple haze.
Oh, that's Trader. That's Repcord stuff. I still haven't tried purple haze. I still haven't tried that.
Wow. I'm ashamed to say I think the only Protopasta I've ever really printed with was that one that was it the bronze or the brass that I did Calvin's Maker Coin.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I think that took nearly the entire roll.
Well, it's not hard. When the material weighs nearly twice as much as regular PLA, it goes real fast.
That's the truth.
So, okay, here's a funny story. So the stainless steel filament that we have,
yeah,
the density on the stainless steel is nearly the same as the density of aluminum. So if you want to prototype something in aluminum and get a good idea for the weight and feel of it, print it in the stainless steel, and you'll have nearly pretty much a faux aluminum print essentially, because of the density is so similar that you can actually like get an idea for how much it's going to weigh once it's done in aluminum.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
At any
Yeah.
particular infill level, or
No, the density of it is the same. So
so if you do
it's
100% infill, it would be
yeah.
exactly the same weight.
Well, yeah, real close. I mean, it's like within like 0.1 grams or something in terms of the density. So it's just a really good gauge. And by the way, don't ever print 100% infill.
No. No, I usually
Close.
the most I ever if I want a solid piece, I'll go 95.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always stay shy of 100 because you'll over extrude if you hit 100. So
Yeah. Plus, it'll also warp as soon as it starts to cool.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Stephen's had a roll of stainless steel for nearly 2 years.
it should
What's the
still be
shelf life
fine.
on
We don't really actually we don't actually claim a shelf life because it is plastic. It should be fine. The worst that could happen is it will have absorbed moisture. So you may want to put it through like one of those print dries or dry it in some way, shape, or form. But it shouldn't really go bad. I mean, there's a lot of collectors of filament out there, which is kind of funny. It's like, I'm going to buy this and then not use it. Okay.
I was going to ask you. You're the person to ask. Now, when filament
Okay.
gets brittle, when it's been out for
Uh-huh.
let's say a month or so, and I'm not talking quality filament. I'm talking your really cheap stuff. If
Right.
it gets to the point where it's so brittle where it just breaks, like if you just take and you just pop, pop, pop,
Right.
what causes that?
That is a very good question. I am not 100% sure. There's a couple of different theories on it, and I don't know that anybody's really spent the time to test it, but some are saying it's moisture. Okay. But the other theory that I've heard and may actually play more into it is light. And the reason that some are saying that is because it doesn't matter how humid of an area you live in, that long-term brittleness thing happens. And 285 material shows it a lot more readily than 175 material. And another way that it actually shows more quickly is if you leave 285 in a Bowden tube overnight, I can almost guarantee you all the material that's in the Bowden tube will be brittle by the morning.
Really?
Which, yeah. I especially noticed it on my Sigma because the Sigma's got like almost 700 millimeters of Bowden tube from the extruder to the actual hot end. And if you leave material in that overnight not being used, you go to try and push it the next day, it'll just start busting up in the tube. It just starts breaking everywhere. So, yeah. And my house is kept pretty dry. We're constantly running some dry heat to keep it pretty dry in here, just because in an RV you don't want a lot of extra moisture. So we're always trying to keep it dry anyways. And so I tend to believe that it might be the light thing or the exposure to the air, but I don't know for sure. I don't. It's a good question. I wish somebody would find an answer to, but there's several possibilities on it.
Honestly, the light makes a little bit more sense than the moisture to me. That seems like it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I mean, and it could be, and it could be air. I mean, it could be like the air, but it doesn't make the difficult part is the stuff. Generally, if you've got a brittle roll of filament, it's the first couple of wraps that are brittle.
Right.
And then after that, it's like the stuff that's touching itself or touching each other is fine. It's the stuff that was, that's loose and doesn't have its buddy with him. And it's like, I'm going to go brittle.
That's exactly right. I've noticed that if I take a roll, I can actually just flop, 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 and then I come to the point where it doesn't flop no more, and that's where I start.
Yeah, no, that's what you got to do. I mean, and it's funny because 285 shows it so much more than 175. Yeah, 285 is so much more prone to that brittleness than 175.
Yeah, all I ever run is the 175, and there's times where I come across that where I get a hold of a roll and it'll be brittle down to a point, and then it doesn't break off, and that's where I usually trim it and start using it. And if I leave it for a week, I come back and it's usually broke off at the extruder.
Yeah, see, that's yeah. So I don't, I really don't. Now they're talking about it in chat. People without windows, it doesn't happen to. So
Right.
where's that consistency? What is it? Is it the lighting? Is it the air? Is it the moisture?
It could be the UV light, like they're saying it. That could very well be.
Yeah. So
Because
yeah, there's something.
I don't notice the brittleness as much now that I went to LED lights out there than when I had fluorescent lights before. The fluorescent lights, it seemed like it happened more often than it does now.
Yeah.
And I know the PLA prints, if you stick them out in the yard, they discolor fairly quickly, from what I understand.
Right.
So there is some sort of a UV reaction that happens, I believe.
Which is why they recommend things like an ASA for outdoor prints and stuff like that. But I don't know. I really wonder. We have all this tribal knowledge, maybe tribal myths about PLA is brittle, PLA is weak, PLA shouldn't be outside, all these types of things. PLA biodegradable, not biodegradable, all this type of stuff, and it seems like we're perpetuating a lot of myths, or not actually qualifying what we mean when we say them. Like, okay, yeah, PLA is biodegradable, but it's not biodegradable in terms of the fact that I can throw it into my compost pile and it go away. Yeah. It's biodegradable in terms of industrial biodegradation, which is at a high heat, and that's something that. Do you have industrial biodegradable or industrial recycling at your spot where they do that?
Nope.
Yeah. See, that's exactly it. It's like, okay, so we're using this corn or plant-based material. It's supposedly good for the environment, but nobody has any facilities to actually do anything with it to bring it back to where it needs to be.
It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside to know that we're doing something good for the environment.
Yes, it makes us feel warm and fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy. Yeah.
Warm and fuzzy. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. What I'd like to see, I'd like to see it where to the point where you could actually take your PLA, your prints and stuff like that, and throw it in the recycling bin and know that it's going to be used somewhere along the line.
Right.
But we're not even to that point. What does most people do whenever you have a rat's nest full of PLA when your printer decides to print spaghetti? Yeah. Usually goes in the trash can, doesn't it?
Well, it has to at this point, because okay, so when we all first start 3D printing, the first thing we do is we save every single fail, putting it in a bag or a bin or whatever, thinking we're going to recycle it because I'm going to recycle it. I want to be responsible with my plastic. I'm going to recycle it. And then we come to find out that, recycling of the PLA material is not near as easy or straightforward as we thought. And you talk with some of the people that are actually recycling filament and come to find out that they have to process it 2 or 3 times as much as just virgin PLA. And yet people expect recycled filament to be cheaper, but they're having to do 2 and 3 times the amount of work to recycle it. This isn't jiving. It's not working.
Right.
I think the best we're going to get on all of that is the fact that I think we're going to get to the point where PLA is getting recycled into something else. And I think at this point in time, it's going to be probably something like the Precious Plastics program, where they're recycling it on a little bit larger scale. They're melting it down more in chunks as opposed to trying to extrude it. And that precious plastics thing, that seems very intriguing. I mean, if I wasn't so tied up in stuff, I might even go, hey, I might want to create one of those. We'll put a box full of recycling plastic. That makes sense, but I'll just add it to the list of projects for later.
Chris says PLA lawn furniture.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Set up some molds and actually melt the plastic and throw it in there and make your PLA lawn furniture. And then in 6 years, when it falls apart, you melt it again and turn it right back into fresh material again. I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, he's probably half joking, but it's not a bad idea.
Ah, in fact, you remember the stools that they had over at the Maker Faire that me and you went to up here at Bay Area Maker Faire? Remember the ones they
Yeah.
had over there at what's the booth? Matter Hacker's booth. What they're doing all the
Yeah, right. Yep.
Remember those stools that I believe it was See Me CNC that printed those, wasn't it?
Yes, with the Part Daddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would sure love to have one of those. Those were cool. They were comfortable too.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're heavy. Oh my gosh, they're heavy.
Oh, are they?
There was one at last year, and as we were, did you see the video where we were taking down the Part Daddy, and basically laid the Part Daddy on its side and wheeled it out the big garage door like thing? Like there was much rejoicing, like from Monty Python. It was just all this cheering as it came down. But one of those chairs got left behind, and I went to pick it up because I was half tempted to walk off with it, and no, it was heavy. It was really heavy.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're losing me. Well, that's probably because of the video. I got slow internet. Sorry, I got slow internet.
You went out, but you're back on there now.
I gotta stop talking. That's what it is. Stop talking. Less talking, I'll be okay. I'll just stand here and.
I found the internet. It just kind of comes and goes.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not much better off on internet, Teresa. I mean, I don't have a cap, but yeah, because everything's Wi-Fi for me because of the RV. So I'm pretty limited. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I have the wired internet, and you can see where that's got me so far.
You're not doing much better off, it seems, at the moment.
No, not very well at the moment. In fact, as soon as we end this, I'm going to have to go online and see about ordering another spool of Cat 6. Oh, goodness.
Wow. So 18 people in there. Wow.
Wow, that is a record right there.
That is a record?
Yeah, that's a record. I think the maximum we've ever had before, I think, was 14 or 16.
Oh, don't tell Calvin. Don't tell Calvin.
Can't tell Calvin. If we tell him that, he's going to be all upset. I want to start streaming again.
Well, there we go. There we go. That's how you get him back. That's how you get him back. You're like, you got to come back. We could always be 3 people on it. It doesn't have to be just 2.
Oh yeah, we can always go for a threesome.
Yeah, a 3-way, right?
Menage a trois.
No, I'll draw the line on that one.
Oh, Teresa spammed Twitters. She said, "Don't delay. Watch Jimmy Shaw today." Oh goodness.
Oh, that's funny. Oh gosh. Yeah. See, you need to have Teresa on here. Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be hilarious.
I would love to have her come on here.
Yeah. 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 She's a riot.
Yeah, she is.
Did you see her on JT's stream?
What's that?
Did you see her on JT and JT and the other guy when she was on their stream with them?
No.
Oh yeah, you need to. Yeah, there's a stream where she's on there. I won't ruin any of the surprises, but yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch that since we're done.
Yeah, yeah. And the nice thing is he limits his to an hour, so you don't have to watch for hours on end. He cuts it right off at an hour.
Yeah, we're reaching that point. We're going to kind of go over a little bit over, so kind of make up for starting so late.
Hey, we're still going up. We got 19 people now. We can't stop now.
Oh wow! If we hit 20, oh my goodness!
Yeah, no. There we go. Look at that. We got 8 thumbs up, and oh wait, we dropped down to 18 again. I know what I can do. I can open up another window with one of my other accounts, and we'll up the number again.
I don't know. Wait. People get upset about that. Oh my goodness! Did you hear about what's going on with them and Gleam?
No.
So if you let's for instance, I'm getting ready to hit 10,000 subscribers probably next year. At this point, I don't know. I kind of gave up on it.
I noticed you were at like 9,700 or something like that.
So I think I'm at 95 or something like that.
Yeah, 95. Yep.
Okay, so if I hit 10,000 subscribers and I want to go ahead and do a giveaway for, let's say, a 3D printer,
right?
Maybe a GTech 10M. Who knows? But let's just say that there was going to be a giveaway for a 3D printer and I want to use Gleam because I want to make it fair. I don't want to just go, oh, let's see, who do I want to win? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be accused of that. So the typical thing is you go through Gleam. Normally, what you will do is you'll say, okay, first verify that you're subscribed.
Right.
That now is illegal in the eyes of Google or of YouTube. YouTube says that you cannot do that. Okay, subscribe to my friend's channel. Can't do that. You're falsifying the number of subscribers by doing that, they say. How's it falsifying? It's not falsifying, but that's what they believe.
Right.
Let's say I want to say, okay, I want you to watch this video from Calvin to help us boost his time, right? Nope, you are playing with the numbers. You can't do that. They will actually pull your link and not let you have that giveaway. They will stop it on their platform. I guess that they either take down the video. I don't know how they do it, but they stop it. And
interesting.
Jay's 2 cents is having a giveaway, and one of the things was to verify that you are subscribed to his channel. And because he did that, they took it down. And we're not just talking somebody that's like me. We're talking Jay's 2 cents. He's got over 1 point some odd million subscribers now, and check that down. No, you can't do it.
I have multiple Google accounts, and when somebody needs a little boost, I've been known to log into more than 1 or 2 to get them subscribed to get, the extra 5 or 6 that they might need. I mean, come on now, and you've got to have a Google account for this, and you got to have a Google account for that, and you're trying to keep your life separate from your work and all these other types of things. You end up with multiple accounts for different reasons. So, so there's Keith at Protoplant that, may or may not subscribe to Jimmy's channel. And then there's Tinkerz that may or may not subscribe to Jimmy's channel. And then there's Keith, who's by himself off there, not anybody. He's nobody. So, somebody needs a little boost.
Like 5 notifications.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing with Gleam is you cannot use YouTube for any portion of it. So the only thing I would recommend is if you're wanting to verify that the person actually is part of YouTube is to have them sign in using YouTube. But as far as being able to make any portion of the giveaway something YouTube related, you can't do that. Yeah. You can ask them to go to this place, like to Twitter. You can ask them to go to Instagram. You can ask them to go here and there. But even with those channels, they don't allow you to. I think Twitter's the only one where it says subscribe by clicking here or follow or whatever. But when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, those two you can direct them to that page, but you cannot make them
Right.
like the page.
Right. Right. No, you can tell them to visit the page, and that's it.
Which, quite honestly, that's something that Gleam needs to go ahead and fix on their end of it and make it where they're not putting people in this position, because they still have all those things open for YouTube, but you can't use them because if you do, you get in trouble.
Right. So they might as well just turn them off.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta tickle the keys here for a second.
What's that?
I had to tickle the keys on the keyboard for a second. Actually liking where I have the camera now and I can see this chat like right above, so it works out very nice.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Of course, you can see my roof. See?
I can see my ceiling fan up here too.
Yeah.
That magnificent wiring job, it's just kind of.
Are you sure this
I do some work in here still.
code?
We're going to be moving in here, but we're still working on it, trying to get things ironed out and all that. But eventually, I'm going to be living up in this one.
All right. Be here. Just two people short of a menage a trois. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the funny thing about t-shirts. I just have way too many of them.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's seen. I mean, yeah. There's too many. I mean, people. Yeah. I could probably wear different t-shirts every day in a month, and it would. Yeah. I have too many. I want to support people by buying their t-shirt from their channel, and it's like, but I already have way too many.
I know.
Practical Printing comes out with a nice shirt, and I'm like, man, I should buy this shirt. And then I'm like, I got way too many shirts.
I think I've got a Practical Printing shirt. I've got one of Daniel Noray's shirts that I got from him. And I've got a Jay's 2 cents shirt. I think that's about all I've got. Oh yeah, and I've got one of mine because I wanted to see what they were like. I bought one shirt from, was it Teespring? I had bought one of my shirts from Teespring. I didn't like it, so I switched over to TeePublic, and the TeePublic shirts were better.
Oh my gosh. Teresa Manwich, that's hilarious. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I have too many hoodies too, Chris. How about a hat? I need a hat. Hats. I need more hats. I can kill a hat in a week. So, more hats. Pants are the enemy. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Art Boss does have pants.
So I have a couple of friends. They're a couple, and they both wear kilt, and so they're the kilted couple, and they are very much against pants. I mean, like, yeah, pants are the devil essentially. But it's funny. Sam is the guy's name. I saw a picture of him. It snowed where they were at because of all the snowpocalypse. And so he's standing outside in his kilt and this big, puffy parka type coat. He's all bundled up here, but there's nothing on his legs. And I'm just like, it just doesn't seem right.
Now, is he Scottish?
No, they're not Scottish. Neither one of them are Scottish. And they're...
Oh, okay. So that means there's probably underwear worn then.
Oh, well, I mean, I do know that they tend to wear like spandex shorts underneath them, but yeah, they're not going, full traditional at all. I mean, somebody mentioned utility kilt. I would love the utility kilt idea. I just don't think I can pull off a kilt. I just no, don't think I can do it. The utility kilt is a very exciting thing because I all for the cargo pants and tons of pockets and tools and everything like that. But I don't think I can do the kilt. I just can't.
Keep that part warm with the bagpipes.
Wow. Yeah, but even if the kilt is warm, it's not like you're going to keep your legs warm. It's just going to keep the midsection warm.
Yeah.
What's the point of a kilt? Yeah, well, we're gonna keep it clean. I'm not gonna say anything about what's the point of your kilt. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. I thought there was other reasons that the kilted couple wore kilts for a while, but turned out that wasn't to be the case. No, I don't want leg warmers. I just don't want to be cold. Technically, they're meant to be cooler.
Not that cold.
Not that cold. Artmont has leggings. Okay.
When things start looking like Crunch Berries from Captain Crunch, things went bad.
Now, what we need is somebody to have chaps as a thing, as their promotional wear, their swag. Chaps. There we go.
I think I've got a cap.
No, chaps, not caps. Chaps.
Oh.
Because we're talking about leggings.
Oh, okay.
Not that anybody has any reason to wear chaps, but hey. Yeah, see, Teresa knew where I was going. See.
I'm sure there's some chaps up there.
Teresa's playing along well. She's reading the cues good. She's got it. Yeah. I would highly suggest you not have Teresa and I in a stream together. It'd probably go downhill real fast.
Now you're tempting me.
Yeah.
YMC.
That'd be funny. The stream has not yet been rated. That's the truth.
Oh, I'm sure it's been rated all right. I'm sure YouTube will take care of it.
I don't think we've said anything that's going to really knock it down.
Oh no, I have heard way worse of this.
Yeah,
this is that's what I was talking with Calvin before about, because his thing was the way the chat goes, and
right.
I have seen way worse.
Oh, the stream with JT and Ivan, where Ivan was trying to say fakir. That was his accent. It went downhill after that. That was, yeah, you don't hear in Shrek. There we go.
Like one of my guys the other day, he calls up one of the parts stores, and he says, I'm looking for some struts. Oh, what? I'm looking for some struts. And the way he said it, one of the guys said, did he just say he's looking for some sluts? Struts! I think he's trying to say struts.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Did we hit 20? Did we hit 20? We're not at 20 right now, but did we hit it?
I don't know.
Hmm. So sad.
That's all right. The
Yeah,
cool thing about streams, no matter what it looks like while we're doing the stream, usually after the stream, for like a day, the numbers just kind of climb up.
yeah,
I
no, I
think
noticed that.
usually by the time we finish the stream, when me and Calvin finish one, usually by the next day it's like 125 views.
Right.
It's probably only for
I,
2 minutes, but it was 125 views.
I honestly, okay, so talking about like YouTube channel type stuff. All right. So if a person streams, all right, there's no real work involved in after the fact in terms of like editing a video or any of that kind of stuff. But I don't think streams get as much of a replay as a composed video that you've actually edited and put together. So like a stream kind of compacts it all to the live views and then like you said the day after, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Whereas as a put together video like your hairy lion gets views forever. I mean, I've got a stupid little video, okay, because apparently people can't figure out how to turn on how to set up Fusion 360 with the startup license. So I made a stupid little video on how to set up the startup license on Fusion 360. And that thing has almost 7,000 views on it. And I'm like, 7,000 views on a video of how to set up Fusion 360, how to install Fusion 360. That's kind of silly. Yeah. No, I agree. It's the fun of the live stream is interacting with the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honest, that's the reason why I've went away from doing the edited unboxing videos for like when I get a 3D printer in. I've went away from doing because I tried doing the editing thing, and do all that. And I actually found it more enjoyable to do a live unboxing because that way everybody sees exactly how long it took me to set up the printer. There's nothing cut out of it. If something sparks and sparks go blowing somewhere, everybody gets to see the sparks fly. I enjoy doing those a lot more than I do doing an edited video because it's more interaction between me and the chat. If I'm messing something up, they tell me. It's all of a sudden it's like you see the chat moving, you look at the chat, it's like, okay, I did that wrong.
I did that. They're telling me I put that zip tie on backwards. You don't have your zip ties lined up.
And what's cool about it is that way people see, okay, well, it took him an hour to set it up, or it took him 30 minutes to set it up. And there's no smoke and mirrors. You see what you see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was 3D Maker Noob's biggest thing for a while when he was doing his live streams. Everybody was always looking for magic smoke to come out because he let it out a couple of times, and then
he popped a circuit breaker a few times too, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, so he drew quite a crowd for the whole what can he do wrong for a little while. They're very different channel now, but it was for a while he was blowing stuff up all the time. He even bought a bag of whatever part he blew up the one time. He blew up, I don't remember what it was, but he bought a whole bag of them, and then it was funny. Yeah,
It's like I got those AFO fireballs that I put next to my printers just to be on the safe side. One of these days, I'm going to just light up a live stream someday out in the backyard, and I'm going to light a match to one of those things and just see did I actually put my faith in something that worked or not. That would be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. What's going on in the chat? AFO all fires out. Real engineers don't need zip ties. I like that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like
Yeah.
Jordan took off. Have a good night, Jordan.
All right. Good night, Jordan. Nothing to see here. Oh.
Move along, sir. There's nothing to see
Move
here.
along.
What time you gotta get up in the morning?
Oh, I'll get up about 6:30 because I got to open the gate for the park at 7.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah. Yeah, this morning actually I kind of snoozed the alarm a little bit and I opened the gate a little late. Oops.
Was there anybody waiting for you?
No, not really. So, and I say not really because some people actually get here before we open and park along the side of the road anyways. And so there was somebody parked along the side of the road, but they weren't waiting for me to open the gate. So obviously they were one of those ones that were like, I'm just going to park. And they park on a logging road and then they walk in instead. So, but someday they're going to park in a logging road and the logging truck's going to come along and the car's going to be crunched.
Yep, they sure will because they don't care.
No, they don't. They don't care at all. They're just going to go smush. So.
Logging roads are a lot like the railroad tracks. You just don't do it.
No, don't do it at all. No.
Well, my friend, I'm going to let you get going. And
okay.
I sure want to thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. We want to do it again. We can do that again. Hopefully we'll have internet worked out better between the two of us.
Yeah. Next week I got a gentleman lined up, and I'm going to keep it a secret just in case he wants to dip out on me. But hopefully
that makes sense. You know,
a later stream if he does join me. I got to figure out what time it would be over in his part of the world.
Don't give away too much. You got to tease him, but not tease him too much.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with this kind of a mess that I've got going on here tonight. But hopefully next week we'll get everything set up with my regular system and things will work out a little bit smoother.
All right. Have a good night.
Keith, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.